$405 and Libby.
Huh. Nearly 2 months. I should probably make a video. I guess I'll just play. Hello. Yeah, that's right. Your favorite penguin's back. I know. Keep the applause to a dull roar. That's right. I'm finally doing it. Finally playing Elden Ring. This video has been it's been haunting me from the depths of my mind ever since I wrapped up the Dark Souls 1 video. Now, an interesting thing about me is that I actually learned the first half of the glitchless speedrun when Elden Ring first came out. At the time it was unoptimized, but only a few people were running the category, so I thought why not. But this speedrunning career was pretty short-lived, because I guess the World of Warcraft patch dropped. However, during this time, I had created the perfect run. First half of this run was just purely set up, however, it's been ingrained in my mind between my university work and my Minecraft knowledge. So, I busted out the old Microsoft document with my planning, and adapted the run for a setup with a brand new dubious little trick to it. So, without further ado. For this run, I deliberated for quite some time over the two weapons I could use. You see, weapons in this game are either upgraded by regular smithing stones or somber smithing stones. Weapons that upgrade by regular smithing stones take way more upgrades to max out, with a cap of plus 25 on the weapon. However, weapons that upgrade by somber smithing stones only cap out at plus 10. This makes it so much easier to collect all the upgrade materials, so I decided to go with a somber smithing stone weapon. I had come up with two separate weapons that would be possible to use in this run, option 1 and option 2. So the decision came down to what I initially thought would be more enticing for the run. Option 1 was the weapon I had planned to use when I was going to speedrun the game, but in the end I ended up going with option 2, the grafted greatsword. This greatsword has great scaling, and its weapon art just gives a ton of raw stats, making us even stronger. However, before I grab it from the boss at the bottom of the map, I'd need to stop in my second favourite hellhole, Volcano Manor. I'd need to access this area for half the weapon upgrades I would need. Thankfully, it's pretty easy to get there. You just sprint all the way through Raya Lucaria Academy and get absolutely minced to death by this death trap on wheels. It would be here, in this volcanic hellhole, that things start to go very wrong. You see, there's a very specific reason why I mentioned at the start of this video that I had attempted speedrunning this game on release. Volcano Manor is the only place this early into the game that you can pick up a plus 7 somber smithing stone. And to find that plus 7, you run up and onto this wheel and jump right over. You just jump right over. You jump right over. Why is this not fucking working? So they removed this jump in patch 1.04 over a year ago. I pondered for a while on what my next move should be. Using the zip glitch to get up onto the ledge would work, but I feel like that would just take away the satisfaction of showing how to slightly cheese this game for newcomers. I could also just deal with the plus 6 weapon for now, but that would also lead to the run just not feeling as satisfying for me. So, I found another way. Found a marvelous little video of someone using a goofy, wondrous physic flask modifier. The goofy modifier being the ruptured crystal tear. All this modifier does is cause you to explode. In theory, I could stand in the exact same spot, drink the flask, and then after a perfectly timed delay, jump towards the ledge, explode, and get knocked up just enough to stay on the ledge. I know, great plan. I can acquire this ruptured tear just by simply killing this guy, an Erdtree avatar. First, to make this fight just a bit easier, I decided to go get the grafted greatsword and just upgrade it as much as I could. So, I waddled my ass all the way down to Castle Morn and engaged in combat. With my freshly upgraded grafted greatsword in hand, I again engaged in combat.
3, 2, 1, go!
I now had the ruptured tear in my possession, and it was time to enact my plan.
I'm gonna fucking get it.
And it didn't work. And you can only use this flask once per respawn. Fuck. After many runbacks, I'd still not managed to clip up onto the ledge. This ledge was a far greater foe than any I'd fought with before. I think I spent as much time on this jump as I did beating Dark Souls 3. Run back, explode, fail, jump off. After all these attempts, I started to go a little crazy, frustration building up inside me, moments from bubbling over. I realized I was going to have to get this +7 somber smithing stone another way, or I was going to snap. On the opposite end of the bridge, I would find my other way. It would be nowhere near as optimal, but being done in by some wall collision just also wasn't optimal. And this little church was a godskin noble, one of the most annoying bosses in this game. However, if I killed him, I'd be able to go all the way through the manor and then grab my +7 stone. Now, I know what you're thinking. I could go in with some sleep potions, make him fall asleep, cheese the boss fight, you know, easy. However, in my manic state, I did not think of this at all. I beat my head into this goddamn boss before throwing my hands up. Nah, not doing this. I came to the conclusion that beating my head into the noble was not actually the sanest thing to do. I realized that it's probably better to just actually start killing the critical path bosses. However, without the upgrades, I kind of had lackluster damage. While I did indeed do so much more damage than I was supposed to at this point, I felt pressure to be doing at least a quarter of the earlier boss's health bars just for this video. But I could make up for the lack of weapon upgrades another way. I could fill in the damage gap if I dipped into magic. With a couple points in faith, I could cast both Golden Vow and Flame Grant Me Strength. Both spells grant a percentage damage increase that stack with each other, which when combined with the Grafted Greatsword's weapon art should give us a sizable amount of damage. So, I stepped into Margit's boss room. Look, it's okay damage. I thought it would be more, to be honest. Alright, I guess we fight the Grafter now. Look, I'm dealing decent damage, but something just feels off. 800 damage on a single swing this early into the game is pretty good, but just both the spell buff fall off after such a short amount of time. It just feels eh. Despite this, I carried on all the way back up to the academy. Here is where I got my shit kicked in by the Red Wolf. At this point, my frustrations of this run really started to coalesce. This boss should not be difficult for me. Each hit I do does a quarter of its health, but because I'm fully stat dumped into strength, I just get one shot by abilities, but I still press on and I defeat the wolf. At this point, I did a quick check of how much damage I was doing. According to the status menu, a decent 736 damage. This should be a large amount of damage on these bosses. So why does my character just feel so weak? Anyway, my frustrations still building, climbed to the top of the academy to fight Nahyeahnah. Build just is still feeling lackluster. I think the expectations I'd built in my head for this run are much greater than it would turn out to be. After the amount of time I'd spent playing so far, I expected to be much further into this run. From the jump skip not working, to banging my head against multiple walls throughout the run, all of the little annoyances all began to compile into this massive cloud of doubt. To me, my other two Dark Souls videos had set expectations of how well I should be playing this game, and the doubt that built up from the expectations pushed me back into fighting the Godskin Noble just for a chance at the plus 7. Again and again, I died, without changing anything. The tension from my frustration built up. Why couldn't the jump explosion just work? You know what? Why'd they even patch it? Half these bosses have dumb, long attack wind-ups that just ruin the rhythm of the game. So why can't I have fun with a spicy +9 weapon? And who, on this godforsaken planet, came up with the Godskin Noble? And better yet, who decided to make a boss fight later with two of them and make it on the critical path? Wait. That's right, I'd fight two of these fucking bosses later, with a stank-ass build and stank-ass damage. I give up. My brothers, what do? I should change builds to something way stronger? I should stop worrying about ultimate one-shot damage? The video be entertaining as long as I play Carpenter Brute? You're right.
Cast your doubts aside, brother. You may struggle, but you will win.
This time around, I wouldn't let my own expectations chain me back. I accepted that I'd be stuck with a +6 weapon until mid-game, but I can make up for that. This time, I picked option 1, the Bloodhound's Fang. The Bloodhound's Fang is the weapon of choice for the current any % glitchless speedrun of this game. Available right from the get-go, strong moveset, strong stats, and most importantly, bleed build-up built into the weapon. Let's go, finish what I started.
my business with these thrones.
Killing Morgott opens the second half of the game, allowing me to upgrade my weapon all the way to +9. But, do you know what's better than one curved greatsword? Two of them. Morgott's Cursed Sword. Slightly worse damage than the Bloodhound's Fang, with tons of bleed buildup. Power stancing these curved swords with the talisman, Lord of Blood's Exaltation, sets us up for big bleeds and big damage. I hate this guy. Now, time for the part of the game that I was dreading. And boy, was I dreading it hard. Fucking Godskin Duo. But I have a strategy. Bait one away from the other and turn the fight into a 1v1. Easy peasy, right? Onto the Clergyman. Now, I'm not afraid to admit, first phase of this fight actually sucks. There's maybe 2 strings that you can punish without being eviscerated afterwards. So, I called the realest person I know. Me. Alright. I know it is kind of lame to use Ashes. I've only used it in these 2 fights so far, but for the rest of the game, I promise not to use it. So, I don't need you anymore. I mean me. Scram. Now, there's only 2 bosses between me and becoming the Elden Lord. Let's kick it. After maybe a few too many attempts, where I'd immediately get one shot upon entering phase 2, I decided the build needed to be switched up a little. Hard to proc the bleed effect twice in this fight, and the final boss is also immune to bleeding, so there's actually no point in holding onto unneeded points into Arcane. So, I dropped all the points I didn't need, buffed up health as much as possible, and got back to it. finally, at long last, Elden Ring. Hey, thanks for watching. I'm probably done with Souls-like games on the channel for now. Maybe in the future I might return if they actually release the DLC for this game. But for now, I'm going to continue with the variety content like I always have. Hope you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to like and subscribe, I guess. Or else